Absolutely can't believe that anyone makes such a joke. A freshly made scarecrow was carried on the flyover by the kids. Say goodbye. No. A bus dodges it and rolls over directly. The vehicles immediately behind collided one after another. They made a supercar accident in a blink of an eye. Just when little Mark was terrified, but his cousin Henry is with such an expression. Afterward, they began to flee frantically. Little Mark has been scared and overwhelmed. The police rushed to the scene when they heard the news. When the two saw it, they hurried into the grove. They hid under a bridge hole. The police car whizzed by. Little Mark asked Henry why he did this. Henry says they are always together. If he commits a crime, then Mark is also an accomplice. Mark felt an unprecedented panic. Just such a kind child, successfully dragged down by him. In the evening, the news began to broadcast today's traffic accident. Mark wants to tell his aunt the truth. His cousin came over and warned him. If he dares to speak out, he would say Mark forced him to do this. Dad, Mark wants to tell you something. Then he came over and told Mark, just take care of his mouth if he wants to live well in this house. Little Mark is a very life-stricken child. His mother has always been weak and sick, despite the meticulous care of his family. In the end, the illness took her life. His dad has urgent work and needs to go abroad, so he can only entrust him to his aunt's care. Mark, who has always been sensible, is very loved by his aunt. He often even thinks of his aunt as his mom. But all this was seen by his cousin Henry. He feels that his mother doesn't love him anymore. What makes him even angrier? His sister became good friends with Mark, so he hates his sister now. At night, his sister came over to find Mark to play games, but Henry grabbed her ears and told her to go out quickly. Little Mark pressed Henry against the wall in one hand. Tell him not to treat his sister like this. Just like that, the two hit each other. Suddenly the mother came up. Henry immediately acted as if nothing had happened. He said they were just playing games. Little Mark watched his aunt and hesitated. But no one knows this 9-year-old child is ready to kill his sister. Early next morning, little Mark found out that his cousin was missing. His aunt said that Henry took his sister to the skating rink alone. Mark rushed over without a word. It's too late for him to get here. Henry has turned on a skating mode with his sister. Little Mark wants to go up and stops them. But with his ordinary shoes, he can't hold onto the ice. While the sister was still laughing happily, suddenly thrown out by Henry, the girl was directly marked out of the safe zone. The brother behind stopped with a brake. The girl slowly stood up on the ice. At this time, the ice layer under the feet is broken. Suddenly there was a mess on the skating rink. The brother Henry is slowly approaching his sister's place. The girl finally got out of the ice, but her brother didn't mean to pull her up. Just watch the sister struggling desperately. But he still refuses to take a step forward. At this moment, little Mark ran over, but he was blocked by the onlookers. Just like that, he watched his sister sink into the lake with his own eyes. No one thought that this accident was caused by the brother himself. Suddenly 2 staff members ran over. The girl is still below waiting for rescue. The two were desperately smashing the thick ice, but the brother looked at them with an unhappy expression. Finally, the child was successfully rescued. Little Mark finally breathed a sigh of relief. They rushed the child to the hospital. Fortunately, the girl is out of danger. Now only little Mark knows. All this was done deliberately by his cousin Henry. So he found his aunt and told the truth. Because Mark lived at his aunt's house during this time, the little girl always likes to play with Mark. Auntie loves Mark a lot. This made his cousin Henry jealous. He feels that everyone has stopped loving him, even the moment his sister fell into the lake. He just watched from behind, but the aunt felt unbelievable when she heard this.
Henry tried to kill Connie and you can do it again. Stop it! Stop it, that's a lie!
Little Mark can't explain it. A mother always loves her child so much. Henry walked into the ward quietly in the evening. Seeing his sleeping sister, he picked up the pillow. Suddenly the lights came on. Turns out the mother is still here. Mom asked him what happened on the skating rink. Henry still said it was just an accident. Then he walked out of the ward nervously. The mother watched the back of his son leaving. She suddenly remembered what little Mark said. However, Henry soon found Mark. Let him control his mouth. Don't talk nonsense. Mark said he had told his aunt all, and warned Henry that it's better to stop everything.
Don't fuck with me.
No one knows. What would he do more extraordinary? Mark wants to get something to eat in the fridge tonight. Suddenly Henry appeared behind him. Tell him that he already put a special seasoning in the food. For his aunt's safety, He can only throw out all the food. But Henry ran to his parents' room, called them up, see Mark's unusual behavior. The aunt thought he had a mental problem, and then sent him into the room personally. They planned to let Mark's father pick him up as soon as possible. At this moment, Henry is watching them triumphantly. Mom finally feels abnormal. She came to his son's secret base the next day. As soon as she walked in, she saw a hanging doll. Immediately afterward, she found a little yellow duck. It was a toy for their little son who had died. Originally, the husband and wife had a young son. Unfortunately, he drowned one day 3 years ago. Even his favorite little yellow duck also disappeared. She didn't expect to be hidden by the eldest son all the time. She can't imagine. Did the eldest son kill his brother? At this moment, Henry walked in with a stick. Mom asked about his brother's toy. Why is it here? The son said that before there was no younger brother, this toy has always belonged to him, and then ran to his mother. Hide the toy in one hand, then ran to the wilderness in one breath. Take brother's little yellow duck, threw it directly into a dry well. The mother seems to have understood the true cause of death of the youngest son, but as our mother, she doesn't know what to do. However, her son has been murderous. He asked little Mark, did he cry when his mother died? Mark feels that the cousin in front of him is completely crazy. He pressed Henry to the bed, warned him not to hurt his aunt. Suddenly Henry's father walked in, saw his son being bullied. He picked up little Mark and locked him up. He didn't listen to Mark's explanation at all. The auntie drove home. Little Mark finally saw hope. Unexpectedly, Henry blocked his mom directly. He said he wanted to have a good talk with his mother. Mark knows that the aunt is in danger. He picked up a chair and smashed the glass directly. Then he chased it out desperately. Mom asked how his brother died. Henry said that it's he who killed his brother. Mom simply doesn't dare to believe what she heard. Then Henry told Mom if she wants to send him to the juvenile management office, he would rather die. Then he turned around and ran away. But when the mother chased to the edge of the cliff, she didn't see him. Suddenly her son came out from behind. No hesitation. He directly pushed his mother down. Fortunately, she caught a branch in the middle. But at this time the son was ready to throw a big rock. At this time little Mark finally arrived, threw him to the ground. Just like this, two kids fight on the edge of the cliff. The mom took this opportunity and started climbing desperately. Soon little Henry got the advantage. Mark was almost choked to death by him. Suddenly turned over. The mother grabbed the two children tightly with both hands. But if this goes on, not even one can be saved. Then her son asked for help. He said he needs his mother's other hand. Under these circumstances, she doesn't know how to choose. Little Mark is about to fall off the cliff. Just at the moment, she decisively let go of her own son's hand. Little Mark was finally saved by his aunt. Two people are crying silently on the cliff. At this time, Henry's body has been swallowed by water. It's hard to imagine how a mother can make such a decision. Maybe at the last minute, Henry didn't expect his mother to give up on him. Some people say Henry is pitiful. After all, he is just a kid. Then he pushed his mom to the cliff. How it can be explained? Maybe in the world, not every child is an angel. Some evils may be born with them. Henry's mother did this. Does everyone feel right or wrong? The movie ends here. Thank you for watching.